Alright, what's up everyone? Today we're going to be looking at the best brawlers that you can use in ranked. We're going to have a tier list. I have one in a second, but before we get into that, I just wanted to kind of tell you guys a little bit about how I got to Masters and what I used. So as you can see, 16,000 trophies, like that's pretty low. And these are all the brawlers that I have. So I have a good amount of max and hypercharged brawlers, but you can see it's not really that much. Like if I go down, like a lot of these are not max, and I still have a lot that I haven't unlocked. So that just goes to show that it is possible if you upgrade the right brawlers and like follow the right advice. I probably have about like what, 20 max brawlers, around 20. So yeah, that's just, and I did play with randoms, by the way. I got all the way to Masters with randoms, so that's a little bit about that, like my whole journey to Masters. So let's switch over here to the notes. And this is just basically how I'm going to be ranking them. So, like, I'm going to be using these three criteria. First of all, versatility, which is can they be used on multiple maps and modes? Like, there's some brawlers where it's only like you use them on one mode, like Chuck, but like the brawler's gonna get a higher rating if you can use them on like multiple maps and modes. And then usability, can they be played easily by the average player? Now a lot of the brawlers are gonna be like high skill cap and like kind of hard to use for the average player. So usability is going to be a factor in there. And then finally the meta. How easily are they countered? So some brawlers have a lot of counters, and then some are just like really strong in the meta. And then just, yeah, basically how strong is it overall? Alright, so with that out of the way, let's get to the tier list. So basically with versatility, there's going to be like two tier lists we have going on. Like the overall rating, and then like where you can play it. Wait, is this gonna work? Okay, so it looks like I can't put them in multiple ones, but I'll just say where you can play them, and I'll put the brawler like the best mode for the brawler, and then their overall rating. So like, let's say you have like a lot of good brawlers for knockout, and you need some advice on like, and you're not doing great in Brawl Ball, you can like take a look at like the end of the video or like whenever, and you can see like what's good for each mode. So that's kind of how I'm going to be doing it. Okay, so let's start. So first, 8-bit. 8-bit is, I don't know. I don't really play him, but he can be like okay. He has slow movement speed, and I don't know. I feel like he's not that great in the meta. So I think he's a C. Like he definitely has his use cases. Like people play 8-bit with like on pro teams, but I don't know, for the average player and like for like solo queuing, I would say that's a good C tier. And then for the modes, I wonder if this is gonna be the same order. Okay, perfect. I wouldn't really play him on knockout. Bounty, he's alright. Gem grab, he's alright in gem grab. Hot zone, no. Heist, he has some cases in heist, but overall I wouldn't say his best one is heist. Brawl ball, definitely not. I would say that his best is bounty. So let's start with that. Amber. Amber is a great controller. Like she does a lot of damage and honestly like has a lot of ammo. So she's good for like controlling the map. I would say like she's definitely A tier. And she's pretty easy to use. You just spam her fire and that's basically it. I would say her best mode is probably, she's good in a lot of modes, I would say. I've seen her played in Bounty. I'd say Gem Grab is probably her best mode. Just because of like the area control. Also Hot Zone is good for like one of these two. Those would be the best places to play Amber. Ash. You know, I don't play Ash. I don't play a lot of these, but based on what I've seen, not a lot of people play Ash. And his range is not that great, and he doesn't really have a fit in the meta. I'm gonna put him at D. He's not the worst choice. I mostly see him getting played in Brawl Ball, so I'm gonna put him there. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's that great. Barley. Barley recently got a hypercharge. He's definitely like climbing in the meta. He's a great thrower actually. I'm gonna put him in A tier. Like I feel like his hypercharge is really good and yeah. His best modes, he's good in like a lot of modes. Just basically any mode where there's walls really. I don't know if I'll play him in Knockout. Bounty, maybe. I'd say probably like Gem Grab, Hot Zone, or Brawl Ball. I'll put him in Brawl Ball. But either Brawl Ball, Gem Grab, or Hot Zone, he's good in all of those. Alright, next. It's kind of hard switching in between these. Here we go. Alright, B. B is she's really good in Bounty. And her gadget is pretty good. Both of them. So she has good utility. I'd say you could play her in a variety of different modes. You could play her in Knockout. You could play her in Bounty. She's a long-range brawler, so probably not a lot in Brawl Ball. But overall, I'd probably say that she's a I'll put her in A. She's a good one to have for a sharpshooter. And oh shoot. Alright. Her best mode, I would probably say her best mode is Bounty. That's where I see her getting played the most. Belle is honestly a great sharpshooter. I'm gonna put her in S. Her ability, she has a hypercharge. Like honestly, on a lot of like long range sniper maps, she's almost always picked. So Belle is definitely a good one to have. And for her best mode, I would probably say that it's Bounty as well. But you could also play her in Knockout, Gem Grab. Just as long as the map is open, honestly, you can play her. So that's also why she got S. She's pretty versatile. BB. BB is a really good tank in the meta. I wouldn't say it's S though. We'll save that for another tank. Why is this mixed up? Okay, whatever. Her best mode is probably Brawl Ball, I'd say. I've seen her played in Heist, Hot Zone. You can play her in Hot Zone, also Gem Grab. Knockout and Bounty, I wouldn't play her. Alright, we need to find Colt because now it's like the order. I probably like mixed it up somewhere. Where is Colt? Okay, Colt is right there. So Colt, he's like, his utility is really good. But he's also kind of hard to play. So I'd say it's probably between S or A. I'll leave him in A. Because you do kind of have to like learn him. But if you're good with him already, he's definitely S. Especially if you know like what gadget to use. Like the silver bullet, that can open up the map. And you can play him in like basically anything. You can play him Knockout, Bounty, Gem Grab, Hot Zone. He's good for like basic Heist. I see him played everywhere. I'd probably say his best mode is... I know I'm putting a lot in here. Brawl Ball, still. Bonnie. I don't see Bonnie played a lot, and I don't think she's the best sharpshooter. But she's not bad either. We'll put her in B. For her best modes, I've seen her in Knockout, Bounty. Honestly, all of these, I wouldn't play her in Heist though. Or Hot Zone. Maybe Bounty, because you could like use her as a sniper and then also as an assassin to get kills. But one of these. Bo. Bo is honestly a great controller. Um, I'll put him in A. He's really good to have. I don't see him getting played like that much in Masters, but like up to Legendary, he's like really good. Cause his shots are honestly kind of easy to hit. His mines are good, especially in gem mine. Gem grab. I mean, you just put his like mines on like the gem spawner, and you're almost like guaranteed to get hits. But at the higher levels, people kind of like dodge out the mines. So, but he's really good to have. So, I'll put him in A. Brock, I think Brock is S tier. We'll put Cole here. Cole and Brock are both good because they can both like open up walls. But the thing about Brock is that like I think he's easy to play because his ammo or his rockets, they like explode at the end of the path and have like a huge radius. So his shots are like a lot easier to hit than Colt's, and you still get the utility, and he's like a long range. So there's a lot of cases. I used to ban Brock a lot on long range maps because he's just kind of annoying. Like, for example, in Knockout, out in the open, I would always ban him there because I would always play Gene and I would just get like destroyed by Brock a lot of the time. So for his best mode, he's good in everything. That's another thing about him. He's pretty versatile. I would say his main mode would probably be it's probably between like Bounty, Knockout, probably between these two. But you can play him everywhere, that's the thing. I'd say probably Bounty. He's probably the best in Bounty. But Knockout, he's also great in Knockout and like the long range maps. Bull. Bull is not really that good. But I've also seen him get played. Like, if you're a good player, you can play Bull. I'll put him in D. I would not prioritize upgrading Bull. His best mode, I would say, is probably Brawl Ball because of his charge. Also, another thing about this list is it's kind of to help you like prioritize which brawlers to upgrade. Because if you focus on the ones that are like higher, you're gonna have an easier time in ranked. Buzz. I would say Buzz is A tier. And if you're good with him, he's like easily S tier. He's a really good assassin. His stun is good. And he honestly doesn't have that many counters. Like, I would say his best mode is you can play him in a lot of game modes. Probably Brawl Ball, just because you can kind of like dribble with him with the hypercharge. But you can play him like in a lot of modes. Byron is a great support brawler. I'm gonna give him A tier. He's good long range. He's great for support. Nothing bad to say about him. Although he's kind of weak to assassins. I mean, I guess Bell is too. I don't know. I feel like Bell is better than Byron. Just because. Just because of like Bell has like better, like, she's just better overall in general. Brock can like escape. He has like the escape. Byron is just kind of weak. If you play him really well against an assassin, you could use his super and heal him up, but I don't know. I feel like he's a solid A tier. For his modes, I see him played a lot in Knockout. I'd say probably Knockout or Bounty. Bounty probably. Carl. Carl, I'd probably say he's not that versatile. I put him in B tier. A good Carl player is like will help a lot, but there's better long-range brawlers. Whoops. And I'd say his best mode is probably probably knockout, I'd say. Man, I feel like I'm gonna get some of these wrong, and like someone's like, I'm a Carl Main and he's best in this. But like, I don't know. I feel like I've seen him play the most in knockout, so I'm gonna put him in knockout. Colette, instant S tier, bruh. She's the best. Like, for those of you that don't know, two regular shots and a super will kill any brawler if they don't have the shield gear. If they have the shield gear, it's 3 shots and a super. Both ways on the super, by the way, the dash forward and the dash back. So she's just great for countering tanks. She counters like most brawlers. Like, she's very hard to compete with. So I'd say her best mode is, you can play her everywhere since she's so strong to counter tanks. Like, if someone plays a tank, Colette is like almost always the best answer. I'd say Heist though. Her hypercharge does a lot of damage on the safe. So Leon is great. He's very versatile. I wouldn't say S because he's just kind of like average. He's not like strong, but you can use him like basically everywhere. That's why I like Leon. And for his modes, like I said, anywhere. I feel like he shines in knockout because whenever your opponent picks like a thrower, you can choose Leon and then charge up his super and then just basically like kill all the throwers. But you can use him basically everywhere. He's versatile. Crow. I do not feel like Crow, he's so popular, but I don't feel like he's great. I'm gonna put him in B tier. I have him level 10. I never got his hypercharge and I didn't really use him. But a lot of people pick him and I don't know. I think he's kind of boring. But that's not why I gave him B. I don't think he's that strong also. That's why. But he's pretty easy to play, so. But I guess he's pretty versatile too. You know what? I'll give him A. His best mode, I think, is Heist. His hypercharge does a ton of damage to the safe. That's mainly why people use him. But you can use him basically anywhere, and he'll be like meh. So I guess for versatility, I'll put him in A. Daryl. Ugh. I think Daryl is F, dude. There's like, you would always choose like a better tank than Daryl. There's like better options out there. He's just not great. His super isn't really that good. I see on the tutorials on TikTok that his like Heist, his ability does like 9,000 damage onto the Heist save, so maybe Heist. Edgar. Bruh, some people are gonna be mad at me, but Edgar is A tier. There's maps where he like shines. Like for example, Hot Potato. Like that map is in our rank currently, and Edgar like almost always does good on that. And that's a legendary. People don't really know how to deal with him. And you can use him basically everywhere. So I'm gonna give him A tier. As much as I don't like Edgar, but his best mode I'd probably say is, he's good on like any like kind of closed maps. I'll say Heist. There's some annoying maps with him on Heist, so I'll put him in Heist. Em's got a hypercharge recently. She's honestly pretty good as a controller. I'm gonna put her in A tier. Let's put her down here, just to keep the order moving. I see her get played in Heist sometimes, but a lot of times I'll see her played in like Gem Grab. She's just good at like control. You can also play her in Hot Zone. Actually, I see her played in Hot Zone a lot too. I'll put her in Hot Zone, but you can play her Gem Grab, Hot Zone. Sometimes Heist, I mean, sometimes Brawl Ball. She's pretty versatile. But yeah, I see her played in Hot Zone. I forgot where I put this. Okay. We're already at 20 minutes, bro. We gotta. Oh my gosh, dude, this is gonna be like an hour-long video. We gotta start going faster. Eve. I have Eve. She has some uses like Canal Grande. She does good, but she's honestly really specific. And there's other better long-range brawlers. I'm gonna put her in D. Her best mode, I'd probably say Bounty. Like I said, Canal Grande is like her main use. Fang, I don't think he's really that good. Like, some people are pretty good with him, I guess. I'll give him B tier. There's better assassins out there, I think. But, I mean, there is cases where he's good. I'm gonna leave him in B. I'd say his best mode is probably... I see him played in Bounty a lot. He can honestly get played in a lot of these. I'll put him in gem grab, I guess. Because, I mean, I guess that's a 3v3 mode where it kind of, they group up. Frank, that's the tank I was talking about earlier. He's the best. Like, he's so strong. His only counter is Colette, which is why Colette is S tier. You can play him basically in any mode. That's why I always banned him. But I would say his best... I mean, he's good at controlling, so Hot Zone is good. He's good in like everything. I'll put him in Hot Zone though. He's really strong in Hot Zone. I always ban him in Hot Zone. Gale. S. He's a great controller. Like, he kind of counters Frank. I'd say he's best in Brawl Ball. And usually, like, he's banned, but he's really strong in the meta. He has a stun. He's overall really strong in the meta. Alright, Jean. Oh, no, no! No! Yes. Okay. I was just making sure. Okay, yeah. Jean. I have Jean maxed out, and I've been playing her. I think she's A. I always play her on Gem Grab. I think that's probably her best mode. Because she can just, like, when the gem carrier has 10, she can kind of pull them. But also very great in knockout. I always play her in knockout. Like, out in the open. She's great in knockout. And gem grab. With the vision gear, too. You have to use the vision gear because her projectiles will, like, reveal everyone. Griff. Griff is A tier. He has use cases. I'd say most people play him a lot on Brawl Ball. His utility is good too. His like piggy bank that opens up the map. That's good to have. Grom. I'm gonna put him in B because there's better throwers out there. Like Barley. I think Barley is the better thrower. And I don't know. He's very weak against assassins. There's like nothing you can do against assassins when you play him. So, yeah. But he's also strong on some maps. Like, Knockout... Oh, I keep messing with this. Knockout is definitely his best mode. Because you can just sit behind a wall and, like... just basically, like, camp the enemy team. And he can be annoying. Sometimes, like, on certain maps he gets banned. But on other maps, he's just basically unplayable. So I'm just going to put him in B. Jackie. Jackie is... I would put her in S. She has a lot of good maps, but I'll put her near the top of A tier. Jackie is really strong. In Hot Zone, Parallel Plays, that map she's really good on. But Brawl Ball is where she really shines. So she's another pretty good tank. Janet, just because she doesn't, like, get played a lot doesn't mean she's necessarily bad, but I'll put her in C tier. Like, I just don't see her played that often, so... And she's considered, like, a sharpshooter, and there's usually better picks than Janet, so... I'm gonna put her there. I see her played in Gem Grab a lot, so... Or the most. Not that I see her get played a lot, but... I see her play in Gem Grab sometimes. Lou. I'm gonna give him A tier. He's really good in the modes that he's good in. And you can play him in a decent amount. I wouldn't play him in Knockout or Bounty, or Heist, but Gem Grab, Hot Zone, Brawl Ball, those are all good for him. I think he's the best in Hot Zone because you can just put a super over the whatever, the zone, the hot zone, and it will give the enemies a hard time. Otis. I'm going to give Otis C tier. He's another one you don't really see used often, but some people make him work. I think his super is not really that strong. He doesn't really have utility. So I'm just going to leave him in C. For his best mode, maybe like I I don't have a lot of experience with this one, so I can't really comment, but I could see him getting played in Knockout maybe. Just because if it's like down to a 1v1 and you have a super, it's kind of hard to like deal with him. Max. Max is really good. Definitely A tier. She's pretty easy to play too. Her best mode is definitely Brawl Ball. But you can play her in other modes too. If you're good. You definitely see her at the top level, so skill cap pretty high. Dynamite is a great thrower. I'm gonna put him in A tier. Especially if you can aim and you know how to like hit your shots with this guy. He's really good. I would say you can use him on any closed map, but I'd say specifically he's probably best in Brawl Ball. I mean, you've seen the clips on TikTok. Some guys go crazy with him in Brawl Ball. Mortis. Mortis is kind of a meh assassin. Like, especially in 3v3 modes, it's hard to like get kills with him. But I would say he's best in Knockout. Just because you have to like get up close. But if you can chain the supers, he can be really good. Let's put him in Brawl Ball. He's probably best in Brawl Ball. Mr. P is a great controller. He's going in A tier. And I'm gonna put him in Knockout. He can be used in a variety. Like I see him used in Bounty. But mainly Knockout. So just his porters are like annoying to deal with. Especially if Mr. P's a good like thrower counter. Because like, oh, my cat is here. Hi, buddy. So basically with his porters, like whenever I would play Tick, he would be so annoying to face because his like things just come near you and it's like kind of hard. So he's good to play into throwers. His utility is really good, so I'll put him in A. Nani, oh, he's kind of hard to play, but he's a really good sharpshooter if you can hit your shots with him. And he's pretty versatile too. I'd say mainly people play him on Bounty. Just wherever there's an open map, he has great range and great damage. So, and his return to sender gadget is really good. So, I'll put him there. Nita, another A tier. She's really good, and I mainly see her get played in Brawl Ball. But you can also play her in Heist. The bear does a lot of damage to the safe. Honestly, you can play her in a lot of modes. She's a really strong brawler. I would recommend maxing out. Also, she's uncommon. I don't know. I think she's S. After all that, what I just said, she has a hypercharge too. I feel like she's definitely S tier. Like you can play her in all the modes, and she's really strong in all of them. So, I mean, I don't see her get banned. That's why I'm kind of hesitant. But we'll put her at the top of the A tier with Colt. Because I guess if I'm going to put something in the S tier, it has to be better than Colt. And I'd say she's around the same level as Colt. Pam. I don't think she's that great. I'm going to say D tier. She doesn't really do that much damage. I mean, her utility is helpful, but there's better out there. She's probably best in like Hot Zone, I'd say. Penny, I would say is probably C as well. You can make her work. Like I've seen people like play her, and you can put her mortar in like some hard to kill spots, and she's pretty hard to deal with. I see her used on heist the most, just because like the mortar can get locked onto the safe and do some pretty good damage if you can find a good spot for it. Piper is a really great sharpshooter. I'm gonna put her at A. She's nice to have. Obviously on closed maps you're never gonna play her. She's good in bounty and knockout mostly. Poco, oh my gosh. For the average player, I don't know. He's pretty easy to use. I'll put him in B tier. I don't think he's necessary to upgrade, but he can be nice to have. I see him like in like hot zone a lot, so I'd probably say that's his best mode. But you can play him in some other modes. El Primo, I upgraded this guy thinking he would be a great tank, but he's like almost never useful. I'm putting him in D tier. I don't think he's that great at all. But people that play him, I mean, I rarely see him in heist, so I'll say his best one is Brawl Ball. Rico is really strong, especially with his hypercharge. He gets banned on some maps because he's so strong. I'm gonna put him in S tier. He's really good. I picked him up like a couple weeks ago and I've been using him, and he's easy to use, and if you're skilled with him, you can hit those shots and bounce off walls, and his hypercharge just goes crazy. I'm gonna put him in S tier. And I mostly use him in Brawl Ball. But any closed map where you can get like value out of the bouncing will be good for Rico. Jessie, S tier. She's honestly so great. You can play her in like a lot of modes. She's strong. She gets banned sometimes. I would say her best mode is probably heist. She's probably like one of the best like meta brawlers to have in heist. Like if she doesn't get banned in heist, you always see her getting picked. So I would say heist is her best game mode. Just make sure to use like the gadget that like speeds up her like bullets for the turret, and also like the one that makes the bullets bounce. But if you're playing her in like Brawl Ball or Hot Zone, use the like the slow gadget, and then like the Empower, which heals the turret. But yeah, you can play her like here, here, here. I have her maxed out, and like she was like my go-to like brawler pushing in ranked. So she has a special place. I like mastered her by like using her so much. You can use her like basically anywhere. I wouldn't use her in knockout or bounty, but the rest she's really strong in, so she's gonna go in the S tier. Rosa is pretty good. She's pretty easy to use too. I'm gonna leave her in the A tier. Her super is really good. She's strong in, honestly, like most bushy maps. I see her in gem grab, like on bushy maps, and like obviously Brawl Ball. Honestly, she can change the outcome of a gem grab game. So I'm gonna put her in gem grab. Ruffs is like underrated, I feel like. Like he has good utility. His bullets bounce. I'm gonna put him in like, but he's also not very popular. I'm gonna put him in B tier. We'll put him at the top of B tier. That's respectable. But like you see like on Hard Rock Mine, like if you look at like this like the stats, like he has like a pretty high win rate on that. So yeah, let's put him in gem grab, because like he has pretty good range, and you can like destroy walls with his super and like help your allies. So he's a pretty good support brawler, but I wouldn't say he's like necessary to like max out. Sandy, man, we gotta like hurry. Sandy is definitely, I would say, Sandy is banned a lot of the times, but I'm gonna give her A tier. She can go near the top of the A tier. She's pretty pretty good. Not in not in knockout or bounty, but gem grab you could use her. She's pretty good. Hot zone, she's good. Heist, never use her in heist, bruh. Don't be that one random. Brawl ball though would definitely be her best. You gotta learn the gadget trick to like get it in the goal, get the ball. Shelly is a great tank counter, so I'm gonna put her in A tier. She's situational, but she's pretty easy to use. Her gadget makes it so that she's not completely useless long range, so she's a solid. I usually see her in Brawl Ball the most. So I'll put her there. Lola. I don't know much about her, but I know that her clone can make it so that she can do a lot of damage, but her utility isn't great because it's just basically a clone and of her, and so it's just basically her main attack times 2. So I'm gonna put her in B, but she can do a lot of damage to the safe. I see her used in heist the most often, but maybe she has other uses. You'll have to let me know if you're a Lola main. Meg, S tier. She's so good. She's always banned once you get to legendary, and she's just tanky, and you can just push up and take all the gems. In gem grab you can control and hot zone. Even in knockout bounty, there's not a bad mode for her. Maybe, but even in heist, she does a lot of damage to the safe. I would say I mainly see her in these two. These three, Brawl Ball, Hot Zone, Gem Grab. Let's put her in Gem Grab, but she's equally good in all of those modes, so. Spike, a lot of people are gonna hate me for this, but I don't think he's that great. Once you get to Legendary and I see my teammate pick Spike, I'm always a little bummed because there's usually always a better pick. First of all, if you know how to dodge his shots, it's hard to get damage with him, and he's just meh, I feel like. So, he's you can use him in almost anything, but he's just meh. I feel like he's not really that strong at all. So, with that, I'd probably say, I don't know, I don't want to put him in any of these because I wouldn't want you to use him in any of these, but I don't know, I guess Hot Zone. Sprout is a pretty good thrower, I would say. Especially if you can use her super on, or a he, her, I don't know. If you can use their super on and close down a wall, it can really shut down the opposing team. I'd probably play her the most in hot knockout. I feel like that's where she'll get the most value. Squeak, I've kind of been seeing sneaking into the meta a little bit. I don't know if I should give him A. I feel like a good Squeak player could probably use him, but also there's better picks usually. I feel like Squeak can be okay. I'll put him in B tier. And for his best mode, I would probably say Hot Zone or Gem Grab. Hot Zone and Gem Grab are very similar because it's all about controlling the center or wherever the zones are. So I'll just put him there. Stu is can be good, but you also have to be good with him. But his gadget also breaks open walls, so that's you don't have to be good to break open walls. I'll put him in A. He has good utility. He's a pretty good assassin, so I'll put him in A tier. I see him used in Brawl Ball the most, I think. Surge is in the meta. He's S tier. If you have Surge, upgrade him. He's so good. As long as you can get past the stage 1 upgrade of him, he's gonna be really strong. I see him played a lot in Gem Grab, but he can break open walls with his super, dodge attacks. His gadget is also really good. 2 ammo and absorb 50% of the damage. You'll win all your 1v1s with him. Surge has been annoying for me to deal with, so I'm going to put him in S tier. Tara. Tara is definitely A tier. She's a great damage dealer. Her super is pretty good. She's not like that versatile, but she's good for what she does. So I see her mostly in gem grab, lurking in the bushes, of course. Tick is honestly an A tier thrower. I had him upgraded, and he would be like my throw. He's like the only thrower I had, which was kind of why I had such a hard time getting to masters. He's good in knockout, but the strategy with him, since I do have experience with him, I'll try to like give you advice on brawlers that I had maxed out. You gotta like stay alive as long as possible with Tick, because the longer he stays alive, like the more value you're gonna get out of his mines. It could be said about any brawler, but him in particular, like if you have him alive for a while, he just keeps spamming Ticks, his mines, and he's just annoying to deal with. So definitely A tier. You can't really use him like in all the modes, but like most clothes, I wouldn't ever use him in like gem grab or hot zone or brawl ball or heist, but he works in bounty and knockout for closed maps, so I'll give him A tier. Gus, man, I have some other YouTube videos posted about Gus. I like I want him to be higher, but he's C tier, dude. Like you just can't make him work that easily. Like his super isn't really that great, and like his range isn't that good either. It's like honestly, he doesn't add that much to a team, so I'm gonna put him in C. Okay. His best mode, probably knockout. Because if you get down to a 1v1 and he has his super, like, you're not killing him, dude. Sam. I saw Sam, like, the most recent, like, pro matchup, people use Sam, but I don't think he's easy to play at all, so I'm gonna put him in C tier. And he's not really that versatile. You can play him on like a couple maps, and that's really it. Let's put him in gem grab. I don't know, I feel like he would do something there. Buster. Buster is definitely, like, you see people pick Buster and you get like a little nervous because they're always like have a strategy going on. He's definitely A tier. He's good to have. I mostly see him get played in like knockout or like brawl ball, or gem grab. I feel like I see him played the most in gem grab. Let's put him there. Chester. I feel like he's also like Spike. He's kind of like meh, but he can also like, you can also use him to counter like Assassin. So I'll grant him access to our large A tier. All right. And he's pretty versatile like Spike. You can play him a lot, but just make sure you're like, if you do play him, like you have a plan. Like you're playing him into like an Edgar or like a Mortis or something. Like just don't like, some of you Chester mains will just like pick him for everything. It's like, don't do that, bruh. I don't know. Brawl ball. I see him play a decent amount in brawl ball. Gray. Gray has decent utility. His shots are kind of hard to hit though. But you can get creative with him. I'll put him in A tier. For all my Gray mains out there, you can definitely make him work. I would say like, the cat is over here sitting on my charger. You can make him work. I see him a lot in knockout though, so I'll put that as his best mode. Mandy. I love Mandy. She's probably my favorite brawler. And she got a buff recently. She's not S tier, but like if you get an Edgar jumped on her or an Assassin, she's basically done for, but if you can like hit your supers consistently, she's like very strong. So yeah, I would say that she's better than Piper. She's going above Piper, okay? Piper's got nothing on Mandy, alright guys? Bounty. And knockout. Some people will like in knockout they'll go to like a chokehold or like a spot where like people usually go, even when I have my super, and you just get like free supers off them. So definitely Bounty. And I think she's really fun to play, so that's I know that's not coming into account here, but it's just an additional fact. So RT, definitely A tier. He's really strong. You can play him as a sniper, and he also counters assassins. Like if you're in RT's like radius, and like he supers on you, you're basically dead. He does so much damage up close. I see him in hot zone mostly. Parallel plays, he controls those zones like probably like the best ever. And I think I saw like the match that was played on parallel plays, they picked RT, so that's interesting to see. Willow, I'm gonna put her in B tier. She's a decent thrower, but like I said, there's better options out there. And C tier actually, I changed my mind. Her super is pretty hard to hit too, but you can see her like if you do hit her super, she can make like some crazy plays. I see her in Brawl Ball the most, so I'll put her there. Hank, dude. No, don't play Hank. He's like the worst. I see him played in Bounty sometimes, like Canal Grande. Like, I think like while I was pushing in rank, we faced a Hank and I lost. And that doesn't mean he's strong, by the way. Like, just because like if there's like a really good player, like on any of these people, they're gonna beat you. So, but I think for the average player, like, nah, Hank is not gonna work. Maisie, I have her upgraded because I got her hypercharge out of a drop, so I like upgraded her fully. But I'm gonna put her in C tier. She can counter like assassins pretty well, but like her shots are so hard to hit. It's like, I don't know. And she's not really that fun to play. Probably gem grab would be her mode. Gem grab, hot zone. Sometimes Brawl Ball. You just have to pick her into like assassins if there's a lot. But even if there are a lot of assassins, there's usually better picks. Cordelius, definitely A tier. His gadget is really good. Like you can use it to like if you're about to get like stunned by a buzz and you use like the jump gadget, it like completely ignores that, and it counters most tanks. And he's pretty high damage, so A tier. And the pros also like play this guy a lot, so there's got to be potential there. He's good in a lot of modes. If there's like a tank, probably hot zone, because you see a lot of tanks in hot zone. So play him into tanks and you'll be fine. Doug is really good in the maps where he's good in, but I don't know. I feel like Jackie is the better one there. Like, I remember playing him in parallel plays. I bet like this is one of the brawlers where like I'll just like straight up ban it, because like people pick this into me like so many times and I would just get absolutely destroyed by Doug because he just sits in like the hot zone and like respawns and like, but also he's like not really that versatile. You can't play him in a lot of situations. Like only specific maps like parallel plays work really well for him. So that's why he's not A tier. And also I can't recommend a brawler that's like if you upgrade it, it's gonna be good, or like good in only some cases. So that's why I'm gonna put him in B tier. I would recommend like only upgrading brawlers that I put in A and S tier, by the way. Pearl is like, honestly, she can be really strong. I see her get picked a lot, and like honestly, if you're not like ready to face Pearl, like she'll like completely like destroy you with like the heat. I'm sorry if I like move like a brawler and I like don't put it back in the right place. I see her played in Bounty mostly, honestly. But I also feel like the thing is like a lot of people don't have Pearl, so like I don't see her get played that often. But like I feel like Pearl would be like really good against like in a situation where you need like to play passive. Like let's say you have two people like on your team like defending like the safe and one person attacking it. I feel like Pearl would be like really good on defense because she can just deal like a lot of damage and like kind of deny. So she's like a good controller, I guess, in a sense. So A tier. Overall A tier. Chuck. B tier. He is really strong in heist. Like, I'll give him that. That's his game mode. Like, you just put the post down in their like places, and you just like go crazy on the safe. Yeah, but that's basically it. Like, I've seen him played in like I had a random play him on gem grab, and I was about to dodge, but I'm like, let's see what he can do because like obviously he's in legendary and he's picking Chuck. Dude, he honestly like played pretty well. Like some Chuck players will like impress you. But yeah, heist, sometimes hot zone. Like you can set up like a hot zone trap or something. Charlie, B tier. She's honestly just not that great. Her hypercharge isn't really that good. Her super is eh. I don't know. I feel like she used to be better, but she got nerfed. But I see her a lot in gem grab, just because if you like get the gem holder with the super, it can be kind of annoying. Miko. I think Miko is he's a really good assassin actually. I'll put him up here because and another reason why is because he's versatile. You can use him with his second star power. You can use him in heist, and he actually does like so much damage. But yeah, I see like a lot of like he's pretty easy to play too, and he's pretty strong overall. You can play him in knockout. I'd say his main mode is probably heist, just because he can do so much damage to the safe. But he's versatile. You can play him in like in knockout. I don't know if Brawl Ball, just because of the jump. You want to stay on the ground in Brawl Ball because of like the whole ball aspect. But yeah, I see him get played in Hot Zone, and just he counters like a lot of the like throwers just because he can jump over walls. So he's like useful in that aspect as well. So I'd put him in A tier. Kit, bruh, he's A tier. Like just because he's strong, like just because I hate him doesn't mean he's not A tier, dude. Like you'll see him with like the pros. The pros will play him, so his invisibility is good, and he can just like attach onto like other brawlers on your team and become a thrower. So he's pretty easy to play too. Where do I see him played most? Probably knockout. But you can play him like, or like gem grab, honestly. Or hot zone, where like you just like go on to like a Frank or something and just completely dominate. Larry and Lori. This was the next brawler I was upgrading, but he's the one I'm currently upgrading. He's a really great thrower. He has good utility with his super. I see him like I would always like suggest my teammates to play him in Brawl Ball if we needed a thrower. Like Barley and Larry and Lawyer are really great throwers. I'll put them next to each other. Alright, we gotta keep this under an hour, dude. Jeez. I gotta go to the gym after this too. Angelo. Angelo is going. I gotta like all the way up here in S. Angelo is so meta, dude. Like I kind of slept on him, dude. Ranking up, I didn't really play him that often, but he's probably the best like long range brawler out there, along with Belle, of course. Those two are usually, and Brock. But Brock is just kind of easier to play. But Angelo, like, he does so much damage, especially with his super. And you can play him on a lot of modes. Not Brawl Ball, though. Heist, he's really good because of, like, the water maps. Hot Zone, you can play him. Gem Grab, you can play him. Bounty and Knockout, he's both really good. I'm going to give him to Heist. I know he can get, but Heist, Hot Zone, Gem Grab, Bounty, Knockout, they're all like equally, I would say you could play him. But I'm just going to say Heist because like on the water maps, he's like especially useful. Melody. Melody is definitely A tier. And she's really good in Heist. Because if you can just get her like around the Heist safe with her notes, go in a counterclockwise direction. You'll do so much damage to the safe. She also works in Gem Grab because of she's really good because of her mobility. But yeah. Draco. Draco is definitely A tier. He's good. He's not really like overpowered in the meta, I would say. But he's good. His super is really good for control. Probably see him played the most in Brawl Ball, but he's also good for control and Hot Zone and Gem Grab, so definitely consider that. Lily, man, I might get like some hate for this, but Lily is not S tier, dude. Like, I don't know. I feel like if you're playing on a team against Lily, like, it's hard to like kill, you know? Like, I feel like she's overrated. Like, people think that like if you pick Lily, it's like an automatic win, but like if you're like with your team, it's like hard to single out people with her, and like she can just get killed like pretty easily if you're like around your team. So I don't know. I don't think she's S tier. She's obviously really strong. You know, I'll put her at the top of A tier, but I think she's a little bit overrated. So A tier, okay? Her best modes, probably Knockout, just because she can like kill people so fast. And no, finally Barry, 57 minutes. he's definitely an S tier thrower, dude. Like the healing is good. His ice cream stays on the ground for so long. You can use him in Heist with his gadget. Great thrower overall. I'd say his best mode is probably Gem Grab or Hot Zone. Like Gem Grab and Hot Zone are so similar, so it's it's kind of like grouping them when I pick one. I'll put him in Gem Grab, but he's a great thrower. He's definitely like the best out there. So yeah, that's the list. Gonna try not to take too much longer. So what I would recommend doing is like whatever mode you're struggling on, you can like come back and look at this tier list and just see like what you need to upgrade, and this should help you rank up. If you like if you see like brawlers in the A and S tier, and so I would basically just choose brawlers from the A and S tier that are in this tier list, and it should help you rank up. You just need like, and also get a variety, get throwers, get assassins, because obviously I'm just gonna go back to my game really quick before I leave. You don't need all of them. Like people think like, oh, you need all brawlers to get to masters, or oh, you need like a good team. No, you just need a good variety. Like get some meta brawlers like Angelo. I did it with Jean. If you're good with brawlers, it works. And yeah, just basically like prioritize upgrading those. Like don't upgrade like all of your brawlers at once. Upgrade them one at a time and get the meta brawlers, and I guarantee you that that will help you rank up. And also before I leave, I'm planning on making some more rank videos, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, it's almost an hour, so I don't want to take up any more of your guys' time, so hopefully this helped, and bye-bye.